Leaders in the banking sector warn Filipinos of various forms of financial fraud as they encourage the public to be armed with information for better protection against such scheme. Fiona Nicolas has more.
Fraudsters and cybercriminals are becoming more sophisticated, but they are not what the banking sector is more worried about. What needs more urgent attention is the apparent financial illiteracy of most Filipinos, especially when it comes to securing their bank accounts.
There are several third-party assessments that have already been done to determine the financial literacy of the average Filipino. And the results are not very encouraging. Even for individuals who say in the early part of the survey that they're financially sophisticated.
The World Bank reports that most Filipinos own at least 2 mobile phones, which makes them prone to text scams. That is number 1 on the Bangko Central's list of common forms of financial fraud. Text scammers send messages to trick people into sending money to claim some prize they supposedly won in a contest or raffle they never even joined.
We've seen a lot of individuals unfortunately react to those text messages.
Next are ATM and credit card skimming, in which fraudsters clone and use card data to steal money. When a person uses another personal information called from misplaced or discarded bills and other documents to make bank withdrawals, that is called identity theft. Spoofing meantime happens when a person keys in his or her personal or bank information and passwords on a bogus website. Phishing is when someone emails a person in the guise of a bank or credit card company and asks for account information or personal identification numbers. The so-called Nigerian scam is an email message or any letter that appears to be from a stranger or a friend in distress, whose account has supposedly been hacked and is in need of money. A Ponzi or pyramiding scheme promises quick and high returns on investments. The perpetrators will for a time religiously pay investors to appear legitimate. Sometimes, scammers pretend to be bank representatives to lure people into making spurious investments. Rounding up the top 10 is the Dugo-dugo or Budol Budol scam, in which would-be victims receive a phone call from someone pretending to be a relative in distress or are hypnotized into giving money. Leaders in the banking sector say there are at present enough policies and preventive technologies against financial fraud. But the thing is, fraudsters keep innovating, and so the public needs to be armed with information to protect themselves.
We need to educate the consumers to be aware because it's always a two-way street. The banks, we do our share, we try to build as much technology in, we try to be as secure, but people will fall to greed, right? People will fall prey to ignorance, and there will always be criminal minds out there abusing some flaw in the system, some weak spot.
Here, it's a double-edged sword. We'd like to, at one hand, assure the public that discussions are always ongoing. There is no 100% foolproof IT system. There will always be some facets of the code, the IT code, that they will try to exploit.
A possible long-term solution is to replace all ATM, debit, and credit cards with a magnetic stripe security system or computer chip-based cards in which an embedded microchip serves as a kind of fingerprint for each card. At the Philippine ATM conference, banking industry leaders revealed that some 10 million magnetic strip cards are set to be migrated to Europay, MasterCard, and Visa or EMV chip-based cards by January 1st, 2017.
The 2017 is not a request. It is a deadline. The transition path will be very different from one bank to the other, but essentially for the purpose of consumer protection, the earlier that we get it done, the better.
The public may get in touch with the BSP for complaints and to report financial scams through its Financial Consumer Affairs Group hotline on your screen. Fiona Nicolas, 9 News.